Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks. We'll take a look at the S&P and the NASDAQ first, and I'm on the weekly chart for the S&P, and we're looking at this wave 4 to this wave 5 here, and we're looking at it in two different ways. We also have a bearish count as well, and we'll take a look at that. And the first way is as 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves up here for wave 3, and then 4, and then 5. So we've got wave 1, and it looks like we've got wave 2 in play here. The other way is to do a diagonal triangle up for wave 1 and back for wave 2. So we'll look at that as well. So let's just go and look at the first one on the daily chart, which has been our standard count. So from this wave 4 here as 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, I think we can look at this being completed now, and we'll look at wave 3 to the upside here. Pay no attention to the actual prices that I've got here. We always just have a rough mud map and then count the internal structures at that point. So we have sort of pulled back here to test support on these highs here at this stage, and we've got indicators sort of lining up to sort of push up. So yeah, that's the sort of standard count, and we can look at that. I've got that on the intraday basis on 30 here, so it would be from here as 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 in here now, and looking to go up to wave 3. We'll be looking at this little area here in a bit of detail shortly, but I would like to go and have a look at the other counts. So this particular count here is one that we looked at last week, the triangle, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we need to be a little bit careful. Let's say that this current move up here, now like I said, pay no attention to the prices at this particular point. We will need to count sort of up for 1 basically in most markets, and back for 2, and I'm talking about stocks here as well, and 3 and 4 and 5. It will probably be something like that, and then some sort of sharp move back before moving up again at that point. So we'll just continue to work through it, and we'll just be a little bit careful as we move up here and we'll get a general consensus of markets in general, all the stocks that we cover. I mean, some of the stocks are doing their own thing, so it's a little bit tricky, but just get that sort of consensus on most stocks. But after 5 waves here, we'll need to be a little bit mindful, but we'll see what's leading and what's lagging, and what the structures are. We don't need to make any decisions on this now. The other bearish count here that we looked at last week is this one here. For this to be accurate now, we'll need to bring this up here where it gets a little bit sort of high up here at this point for this. So it's probably not the case at this stage, but we'll allow it to play out, and it'll probably come back, once we have those 5 waves in here, then it'll, and as this comes down here, we'll want to know, well, yes, we're looking for an ABC correction to go up, if indeed that is the case. But what would be the bearish implications? And the bearish implications would bring this one into play. So as always, when we get into situations like this, it's always step by step. But at the moment, we can look at Monday's momentum to carry through till Friday. There's no major announcements, I don't think, for the Monday and Tuesdays. So we should see that momentum, carry through. I mean, on Friday's momentum, rather, following through on Monday. Got to get those brain cells working at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. So anyway, that's that. So basically, we're going to look at this here as, so we can look at this one, we can look at this here for the time being as 2 or 4 here. That's pretty much it. But our main focus at the moment really is, for swing traders and day traders is a move up here for this. So let's go to the 1000 tick here. So yeah, that's sort of the top of the market. Last week we'd sort of been working through all this, and obviously it got a bit complicated through here. But basically, on Friday when we were down here, all we really needed to see was support on the 5.7, and you can see here that it came up and hit it, dropped back, and then had the first high above the level and came down, so you should have been long really in this point here. I don't know if you would have survived this here. I don't normally hold positions, but I had a position in here which I held, but I was actually in there a little bit earlier. So really this is a classic trading levels pattern here, and that sort of shows up at like this here. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then the ABC, and just basically, I mean, it's just really about observing it to a point, not just, don't go pushing any buttons until you can see this pattern has matured, and then buy new highs. It's not difficult, but everything takes practice, and most levels are like that, with even this coming up, hitting here and coming back and hitting here, and it pushes up and you think, oh, it's gone through, so you might have gone long here, but your stop should have been under here. It's come back and tested it. It's going to do the same thing at this level here at the 50 here, the number 5 I call it's the midpoint here, so between 700 and 800 here, it's the midpoint, it's the halfway mark. 5 is the second strongest number. It's got history over here, so we're going to get a little classic trading levels pattern here. So there's no need to rush to get in here, because it will develop as support. Now, I could have this as this wave 1, by the way, or I could have it as this wave 1. I'm not quite sure about that just yet, but it doesn't matter. We've got these moves to the upside that are not finished, and they will just continue to climb up here on the Friday. So yeah, it looks like we're sort of on our way at this point. So let's see how that sort of plays out, but looking good for indices, and this is the NASDAQ here. Now obviously we are at the 20,000 here, so for me it was the S&P was the better trade, because this will get sort of stuck here at the 20,000, and it's been here for quite some time. But this is the point where it's probably going to leave, but it doesn't really have it as support yet either. It'll glean it as support, but it'll just take a little while, and you'll just need to be patient while it vibrates at that level. Okay, so let's look at stock now, and we're looking at Apple here. So we could also look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, which is probably most likely. We could look at it as this one over here as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here and 4 here, in that sense. So the next 5 waves that we have up here will be important. Once again, I'll just need to mull over to see if I need to use this as wave 1 here, but yeah, I mean, we had this set up here last time we spoke, I think, and we just wanted to see sort of how it plays out at this point. So we'll see how it builds at this stage. I don't want to get it. You could get a position here if you wanted to. I'll just wait for we've got 2 here, so I'll just wait for the 230 here. This is kind of important because it's minor group 1 of this 200 here. So if it does get support here, then it will flick up to the medium level at that point. So we'll have a position here, and we also, we'll just see how how it plays out at this point. Okay, so over to Amazon, and same for Amazon as well. We can have it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4 here, that sort of thing, and have it going up to 5 here. So when it does get up to 5 here, remember that it's going to be wave 1 over here, and we'll come back for wave 2, you know. So, but anyway, if we were trading up here, we'd take money off the table at the 200. So that's the idea. We talked about being long. So the idea is really to wait for the first, this is 185, to wait for the first high above the level, and then you can drop it down to the next high here, so you can go long on the open, or you may even be long at the moment at this point. So that's where Amazon is, ready to move. Most of them are ready to move or started to move. NVIDIA had a nice little impulse wave to the upside here. So as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, so we'll get to wave 5 up here. We obviously talked about being long here somewhere, so we can just sort of chill on this a little bit. That means that this will be a little 1 and 2 here. There'll be some sort of 3 and 4 and 5 coming up here, and then there'll be a little dance here. And then a push up from that point. So because of the 5 waves here, you could buy the pullback here as well, but I'll just put it on top of the B wave there because that's our sort of standard at this point. So that's where NVIDIA is at the moment, so that's looking quite good. We can also look to add to a position on top of 130 as well, so when we get there we'll do that. Meta platforms, so in this case here, we used this as an example last week where you know, most of the other markets that we're looking at had this as wave 1 over here, and looking at wave 1 here, so to speak, you know. Put that in here somewhere and put wave 2 here, but this is looking at it with the diagonal triangle, trying to fit it in, so it could be viewed like this, this here in this case. So from wave 4 here, this is just wave 1 here. So you can see that we're in a really big bullish trend, and you know, I'm kind of known for my confidence in bullish markets, which is kind of refreshing, I think, too, because a lot of people get quite nervous around you know, topping areas, and I mean, I get nervous too. I mean, I make mistakes and things as well. I mean, but I do like to see the markets as glass half full, so to speak. Okay, so from the day here, I don't know, I just want to have a look if I've got anything on 20. Probably not. No, I haven't updated that for eons. So 1,000 ticks here. So this would be from wave 4 here as 1 and 2. And okay, well, I had that ballsed up before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for 3 here. Sorry about that. So I just want to go back to that and fix that. Daily chart here. Yeah, that needs to be up here. Like I said, Monday morning's a bit hard to get the grey cells going. I think I need a holiday. I was thinking about buying some sort of RV and cruising around Australia for a while. I could do my work that way too, I guess. So wave 2 to wave 3, 4 and 5 up here for wave 1. So this is a medium level here, 650. So this will be our sort of target area. I mean, obviously the 600 here, it's got a few zeros on it. It's going to play out. It's going to help create that wave 4 here. So this will be a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. And we'll look at that now. So, yeah, meta platforms here. So wave 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this has got a little bit more to go here. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just label this out here while I'm here. So this will be 1 and 2, and there'll be some sort of wave that's in 3, 4 and 5 for that. Okay, that's a bit better. So we'll see 3, 4, 5 up here, and then 4. So as you can see, it's going to get a little bit messy in here. It's going to be here for a bit. But if you're long in this as a trend trader, you can just stay long. It may not get this messy, but it just gives you an idea. And that could probably be a bit lower here as well, actually. I'll just bring that down. Somewhere in there. Anyway, we'll see how big that dance is across here. I mean, there's good support here as well. This could come back down here further as well. Okay, so Netflix. So I think Netflix is kind of interesting, really, because we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, but it didn't really come below the level. So normally we look at this as being the most common pattern here, where it drops back below the level, but the second one is where it doesn't drop below the level. But it doesn't matter, because you always look for the first high, and that becomes your reference point to go long, and then you look for the second one, just in case it pops off like that, you know. And basically that's what's happening at the moment. So we've come down from this one. We could do all of that, and that. So that's sort of where we are on that. So we'll see that build at this point, but yeah, it's tested the support and it's making a move, so that's good. And then we come over to Alphabet, and it's a bit of a different picture because it's had this bigger bearish picture coming down here, so this move to the upside could be a little bit different. I just want to see the speed in which it moves to sort of understand the bigger picture again. So we'll just, not that we have to, you know, we're long at the moment, we've got a tight stop, and we've done a little dance across the 165, which is important because from the medium level here, the next set of levels really is the minor group 2, 165, 72 and 80. There's obviously other numbers in here, but that's the sort of backbone of it. And you know, we've had resistance here, and now we've got support here. So being in group 2 here, it should just take us up to the 80 here somewhere. So we'll just use the trailing stop, and we'll just have a look at this on the way. We might need to readjust this in terms of something like this here and push that up there, because the markets are going to be bullish here for a little while. Might need to rearrange this as well. But yeah, anyway, the trading levels and the Elliott are all pointing that it should move up further, so we'll just hold that position. Microsoft here, and we're looking for a low from here. We've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a bit dodgy in here. It really hasn't sort of made an effort at this point. I mean, it's consolidated a little bit there. It still looks weak. It still looks like it wants to come down. Hasn't really given us a nice impulse wave here, so it looks like it wants to come down here further in this case, but we'll just see. We'll just, as the you know, it made a bit of a support while the other markets pushed up a little bit. I mean, this particular pattern in here, right, this little spiky thing here, is really the same as Google here pushing up here. So if Google pushes up here, then there's half a silly chance that this could, you know, push up to here, and then it looks like, okay, now it looks like we've got a low in place, you know. So we'll just see how it goes. We know we're not in it. It looks weak. I understand that. It hasn't turned yet, but we're looking for that low. Yeah, so nothing to do here at the moment. And Tesla, so this wave 4 gave me a bit of grief. As you know, we had it here, here, and here, but we decided to stay in it. So that's sort of where we are at the moment with this. And this, I looked at this, you know, I'm on 1,000 ticks at the moment, but I could put this over to here. I could do that. I'm just not quite sure. I had a look at it on the intraday, and I could see, I mean, this is intraday, but I mean on, you know, like 50 ticks, and I could see we got 5 waves up here, and this has also got 5 waves here as well. So from 1000 ticks to 50 ticks, just to give you a bit of an idea, and we'll just need to bring in a bit more data here. So so we've got this little push off the low here. It looks like 5 waves to here, but we could probably drag it over here. But I think this is sort of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and this is all 5 waves here as well in here. So so this is a little 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So 5 up here, 1 and 2 be all 3, 4, and ABC for 4, 5. So I think it's, you know, it's looking. That's 5 waves. So yeah, I mean, I can see there's just different ways to view this, and this is pretty sort of low here together as well. So we'll see. It doesn't really matter. My main point here is basically developing support on this 250 here, which is the medium level. So the more that does, the better. So I'll leave that at that, and then we come over to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's got the same pattern as the other markets, other tech stocks, to a point. As wave 1 here, wave 1 can go over here as well, but wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here. It looked like we had 5 waves down here, but I kind of, you know, and I was looking initially, I was looking for an A and a B and a C wave here, and there's still space for that to occur, but I can see that all the tech stocks are pretty much in, so this is pretty much in here as well. We can also do the same thing here again as well. We can have this as a leading pattern as well, so we can put wave 2 here, and we could look at this as wave 3, 4 and 5 here. So that's all doable. Not that it's a big deal. They're still both going to the upside. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so anyway, on the intraday basis, I think we're on 5k here for this. So just looking at, you know, last week we were working at, it's come down, you know, quite reasonably close. You know, you could get 5 waves out of this here, I reckon, but I kind of want to put it in line with tech stocks. It does look like we've got a little 5 waves here for 1 and 2. So that should sort of continue to push up as the tech stocks push up. So wave 1 and 2 here. Yeah, let's just see how that sort of plays out. But yeah, looking good for the crypto. So this should lift. This tide should lift most crypto boats. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.